World War I was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Barbed wire, poison gas, machines that tore through flesh like paper. But hidden in the stillness between the barrages was something quieter and far more personal. The sniper. He didn't charge. He didn't shout. He waited. One eye pressed to a scope, one finger on the trigger, and then... The war had barely begun when something strange started happening. Men were being killed, but no one had seen the shooter. One moment, a soldier would be fetching water. The next, he was face down in the mud, motionless. No enemy charge, no warning, just a single deadly shot. At first, commanders thought it was coincidence, bad luck, a fluke, but it wasn't. The Germans had come prepared, with scoped rifles and trained marksmen already positioned across the line. These weren't just lucky shooters. They were trained, patient, precise, using modified Mauser rifles fitted with early optics. The German army introduced modern sniping into the chaos of trench warfare. The effect was devastating. The British and French, caught off guard, found their forward trenches turning into hunting grounds. No one felt safe. Light glinting off a belt buckle, the flick of a cigarette, a helmet rising just too high above the trench wall. Crack, gone. But the Allies were watching and learning. By 1915, the British had begun to adapt, forming their own sniper schools. They didn't just recruit soldiers. They brought in gamekeepers, hunters, and marksmen from rural Britain, men who knew how to track a stag, read terrain, and hit a rabbit from across a field. Suddenly, the war wasn't just fought with artillery and rifles. It was fought with patience and optics. British snipers were issued the short magazine Lee Enfield, modified with scopes and wrapped in burlap to hide glare. They wore camouflage. They moved like ghosts. It was no longer a slaughter. It was a duel. But how do you fight a man you can't see? The British had a solution. Part ingenuity, part madness. The paper mâché head, made to look like a soldier's head, painted in lifelike detail, complete with helmet and fake stubble. These decoys were raised just above the trench line. If a German sniper took the bait, the bullet would pass through the dummy and strike a steel plate hidden behind it. That plate captured the bullet's path, and with enough data, Allied spotters could pinpoint the sniper's location. Then came the counter-sniper teams. Trench warfare was no longer just about territory. It was a battlefield of nerves, shadows, and patience. Being a sniper wasn't just a job, it was a sentence. They spent hours motionless, buried in mud or snow, holding their breath. They learned to blend into the earth, to become invisible. But the worst part? The silence. They worked alone, they hunted alone, and when the shot came there was no celebration, just a tally, another name, another life. Many snipers returned home with the weight of dozens of kills and no one to talk to about them. The war may have ended, but the memories didn't. World War I introduced the sniper as a permanent fixture on the battlefield. The lessons learned in the trenches of France would echo across the globe. Finland's White Death, Simo Häyhä, would terrorize Soviet forces in the snow-covered woods during the Winter War. Soviet snipers like Vasily Zaitsev would redefine urban warfare in the ruins of Stalingrad. And in modern conflicts, from jungles to rooftops, the sniper remains invisible, watching, waiting, What began with a papier-mâché head and a bolt-action rifle evolved into one of the deadliest roles in military history, because in war, sometimes the most powerful weapon is the one you never see coming.